Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Laurel Park here on Saturday. It is March the 16th, 2019. I'm going to look at all the stakes races on the program from Laurel, but before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kid 5 for more selections for race courses around the world. So we're going to look at the stakes races, and I'm going to throw in also a bonus race, race number 6, so it connects all these races I'm looking at all together. So I'm looking at races 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So 5 through 10. Let's get on to it. The fifth race from Laurel. It's the Harrison E. Johnson Memorial. It's going for a purse of $100,000, race for 4-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 7 horses going to post a distance of ground of 1,800 meters, or the distance of ground of 1 mile and 1/8 on the main track. 1,800 mile and 1/8. And I show the diagram. It just gives me a second to look down at my notes. Just bear with me. Top selection here. I'm going to take the number 1 horse, Twisted Tom. I'm going to go 163 in the TriCash trifecta. 163 TriCash trifecta. Top selection 1 horse, Twisted Tom. Nick Juarez gets a leg up on this 5-year-old owned by Creative Cause. Belmont Trains. The horse's most recent outing came the 17th of February at Aqueduct. 1 mile in the Haynesfield Stakes. The horse finished third by 1.5 lengths. He closed up well at the end after a little bit of a wide trip. He ran a sneaky good effort there. Before that, on the 29th of December at Aqueduct on the mud, a mile and 1/8 in the Alex M. Robb Stakes, he finished second by a nose there, and he just, he was closing up again that day, but it was a little bit wide, and he just didn't look 100% fresh that day. It was his first race since Devin Shipman at Saratoga going a mile and 1/8, where he finished 5th by 11th record lengths, and there he just had nothing. He didn't get into it. It wasn't the day to win. And then he returned to the races in the Saginaw, his first start 2018, where he, as the 75 cents a dollar favorite, he finished 4th and was wide and just didn't show up. With his last 2 races have been with Belmont. Before that, his last race was with the old trainer was Chad Brown, and it was in the Shipman at Saratoga, where he just didn't show up. I think the new trainer switch has helped this one, and I think he's going back to those good races, because he's run good races in the past. He actually won the Empire Classic in 2017 by 3 lengths very nicely. He won the Albany very nicely. He won the New York Derby very nicely. And he actually won 2 races here at Laurel in 2017. He won the private terms, and then he won the Federico Tessio very nicely. He's a live horse. I think he'll run well, so I'll take him. So to recount my selections for the 5th from Laurel, it's the Harrison E. Johnson Memorial. Going to take the 1 horse, Twisted Tom. I'll go 163 in the TriCash trifecta to Race number 6 from Laurel. It's a really good race here. It's a starter handicap going for a purse of $65,000. Race for 4-year-olds and upwards, which have started for a claim price $16,000 or less since June the 1st of 2017. We have a field of a dozen horses going the distance of ground of 2,000 meters, or the distance of ground of 1 mile and 1/4 on the Laurel main track. 2,000 meters, a mile and a quarter. I can't remember the last time Laurel ran a mile and a quarter on the main track, let alone a mile and a quarter, on the turf. Pre-2004, Laurel used to run a lot of mile and a quarter races on the turf, but since 2004, I don't think they've run any mile and a quarter races on the turf, let alone the main track. So, you have to when you see them, you have to bet them. I like these longer races a lot, and something I've noticed lately, they're coming back these little bit of longer races. A lot more racetracks are carting them and they're filling. So hopefully, they'll get more of these races going on throughout the year. My top selection here in the starter handicap, I'm going to take the 3 horse Blame the Kids. I'm going to go 3-10-1 in the TriCash trifecta. 3-10-1 TriCash trifecta. Top selection 3 horse Blame the Kids. Weston Hamilton is on this 4-year-old yelling by Blame. The horse's most recent outing came the 18th of February here at Laurel. A mile and 1/8 on the mud in a handicap. The horse finished 4th by 2 lengths. He had the inside. He went to the lead, but then he just didn't have anything around the far turn, kind of weakened out of it. It wasn't the day to win, but it was a bit of a weird track that afternoon. Before that, Laurel on a good main track, 1 mile to claim 12:50. He finished second by a nose, set the pace early on, kind of went a little bit too fast because he had nothing in the tank at the end. It wasn't the day to win. And then the slap at Laurel, going a mile and ops 25 claimer. He finished 5th by 14th recorded lengths there. He was very wide, and he just he just wasn't comfortable with the dirt kickback. These mile quarter races tend to be more towards speed horses or horses that sit towards the front of the pack. He can, if he sits closer, I think he can win. He looks like he doesn't have to set the pace to win because he has come from a little bit farther behind. Most recently, on the 2nd of December at Laurel, going a mile in the lounge race, 36,000 for restricted horses, where he won by half length. Really good turn of foot from stalking. Even before that, he ran a good race at Laurel, stalking to get a third place finish, going mile 16th. But I like him a lot. Should handle the distance, and I think a 5-1. He's a good horse, so I'll take him. So to recap my selection for the 6 from Laura, we're going to take the 3-horse Blame the Kids. I'm going to go 3-10-1 in the TriCast trifecta. It's race number 7 from Laurel. It's the Beyond the Wire Stakes. It's going for a purse of $100,000. Race for fillies 3-year-olds here. We have a field of 8 horses going the distance of ground of 1,600 meters, or the distance of ground of 1 mile on the Laurel main track. 1,600 meters, 1 mile. Top selection here. I'm going to take the 2-horse. It just hit the wire. I'm going to go 278 in the TriCast trifecta. 278 TriCast trifecta. Top selection, the 2-horse. It just hit the wire. 3-year-old filly by Bernardini. Kieran McLaughlin trains. Trevor McCarthy picks up the mount. The horse's most recent outing came on 27th of January at Gulfstream on a sloppy seal course. 7 furlongs and main special weight 43,000. The horse won by 5 3/4. That weekend at Laurel's Pegasus weekend, and the track was playing towards speed, like to a it was just so speed favoring, and this horse took advantage of it and just went away with it. It was a very good, clear victory off the break. Before that, this horse ran at Belmont 25th of October, mile 16th, main special weight 75,000, and the horse finished 7th by 21 in the quarter lengths there. This horse lost all chances at the start, didn't break all that well, got pushed back, and it was just everything. One step out of the gate, lost. It just wasn't the day to win. And then a Belmont 6.5, main special weight 75,000. Horse finished third by 9.5 quarter lengths. Was very wide that day. He just couldn't keep up with them. And then his the maiden race came at Saratoga, 6 furlongs, 8 main special weight 85,000, and the horse won by a neck. But because of this horse, kind of came out in the stretch, they had to disqualify that one. If it wasn't such a small margin, they probably would have kept this horse up. But since it was, since it was a small margin, they had to disqualify the horse. If it was a bigger margin, this horse would have been stayed up. That's what I'm trying to say. But I think here at 5-1, getting back to coming to Laurel, lesser quality horses. I think the horse run well, so watch out. So to recap my selection for the 7 from Laurel, it's Beyond the Wire Stakes. Going to go with the 2-horse. I just hit the wire, or excuse me, it just hit the wire. I'm going to go 278 in the TriCast trifecta. The featured 8th race from Laurel, it's the Private Term Stakes, purse $100,000, races for 3-year-olds here. Field of 7 horses going the distance of ground of about 1,700 meters, or the distance of ground of about 1 mile and 1/16th on the Laurel main track. About 1,700 meters, a mile 16th. Top selection here. I'm going to take the number 7 horse here, Still Dreaming. I'm going to go 736 in the TriCast trifecta. 736 TriCast trifecta. Top selection, 7 horse, Still Dreaming. 3-year-old colt by Flatter. Grand Motion trains. Jorge Vargas Jr. picks up the mount. The horse's most recent outing came the 9th of February at Tampa. Mile and 1/16th in the grade 3 Sam F. Davis. The horse finished 7th by 16 lengths there. Tampa is a very tiring track at times, and this horse, he just never got a good run from the wide post run. It wasn't his day to win. I think coming back to Laurel with this horse is based. I just think the horse should run a lot better. Before that, Laurel on New Year's, 1 mile on a good main track in the main special weight for 43,000. The horse went by 3 lengths, stalked early on, got the lead, and didn't even get whipped. It was just a very easy victory in the lane. And then before that, 22nd November at Laurel, 6 furlongs, main special weight 55,000. The horse finished 4th by 5.5 lengths there. Stalked early on, looked like he was going to go away with it, but then he just kind of hit the wall. He just couldn't keep up at the end. But I don't think the distance was to his liking. I think the routing today should really do well. The longer stretch here at Laurel should suit him, and I think he could upset here at 12-1. I think the favorite's a little bit weirder here. I think he's a little vulnerable, and I think, like I said, I think this Still Dreaming can get to him. So watch out. So to recap my selections for the 8th from Laurel, it's the Private Term Stakes. Going to go with the 7 horse, Still Dreaming. I'm going to go 736 in the TriCast trifecta to race Race 9 from Laurel, it's the Conever Stakes. It's going for a purse of $75,000. Race for fillies, mares, 4-year-olds, and upwards. Field of 11 horses going the distance of ground of 1,400 meters, or the distance of ground of 7 furlongs on the main track. 1,400, 7 furlongs. Top selection here. I'm going to go with the number 10 horse, SW Briar Rose. I'm going to go 10-6-4 in the TriCast trifecta. 10-6-4 TriCast trifecta. Top selection 10 horse, SW's Briar Rose. 5-year-old mare by Rockport Harbor. Jackie Davis is on this one. The horse is no streets now and came about a month ago with Laurel. 6 furlongs on the mud and a handicap for 16,000. And the horse finished second by 1 1/4 lengths. Stalked most of the race, had a little bit of a turn of foot, but she ran a good second place finish. But she also had a high weight of 126 pounds. She's lowering the weight to 120 today. Even with the wide poster, I think she can get something going from a stalking position. Before that, on the mud at Laurel, 5.5 and a handicap for 16,000, January the 18th. The horse won by 2 lengths, sat back early on, got the lead, and then just took off clear. It was a very good victory. And then at 5/8 of a mile at Laurel and a handicap in early December, the horse won by half length, sat back early on, got the lead. Had to steady a little bit, but still took off in the end. A very good run. The 7/8 of mile trips that suit this one has run 3 decent races here locally, and I just think she'll run well. So watch out for her 4-1. Not the best price in the world, I know. But to recap my selection for the ninth from Laurel, it's the Conever Stakes. Gonna go with the 10 horse SW Briar Rose. I'm gonna go 10-6-4 in the TriCast trifecta. Let's get to race 10. Race number 10 from Laurel, it's the Not for Love Stakes. It's going for a purse of $75,000. Race for 4-year-olds and upwards. Fields of 6 horses going the distance of ground of 1,200 meters, or the distance of ground of 6 furlongs on the Laurel main track. 1,200 meters, 6 furlongs. Top selection here. I'm going to go to the number, where are we? I'm going to go to the 2-horse Lewis Field. I'm going to go 2-5-3 in the TriCast trifecta. 2-5-3 TriCast trifecta. Top selection, 2-horse Lewis Field. 5-year-old gelding by Great Notion. Jeff Runco trains. Arnando Bolcachica comes in from Charlestown to ride this one. The horse hasn't been seen this year. The most recent outing for this horse came the 8th of December at Laurel. 6 furlongs and an overnight stakes for $75,000 from Maryland Breds. The horse finished third by 1.5 lengths there. He set the pace by a lot early on, but then just kind of weakened out of it. Couldn't keep up the end. It wasn't the day to win. Before that, Penn Nat, 6 furlongs in the Fabulous Strike Stakes. The horse finished third by 5 lengths, and again, it was very wide and just didn't show up there. It wasn't the day to win again. And then the Maryland Million Sprint here at Laurel back in October. The horse won by 8 1/4. Stalked early on, got the lead, and then just took off clear. It was a very good run. And then ran the DeFrancis Dash before that, where this horse had a horrible trip. Finished 5th by 6 3/4 lengths. It was very wide and just didn't show up. And then she ran the Polynesian Stakes here at Laurel over the summer, where she won by a nose, but she was placed second due disqualification because she was drifting. Since it was a small margin, they were probably right because the win margin was so small. But if you look at the race she won in the past, she ran some good races. She actually won this race nicely last year by a length. She likes Laurel. I think she'll run well, so I'll take her. 5-2 ship price, I know. But to recap my selection for the 10th from Laurel, it's Not for Love Stakes. Gonna go with the 2-horse Lewis Fields. Gonna go 2-5-3 in the TriCast trifecta. So go back to all. Please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5. Good luck.